What's up? I'm just here recording a little bit of the. I've been working on a trombone solo piece. This trombone solo piece is for a friend of mine in Brazil. So his name is Jacques. Since his name is kind of a French name, so I am writing the titles of the movements and the title of the piece in French. So it may be a little bit uh, exquisite, I would say, and out of our reality. Since he is from Brazil, I would not do something entitled with a Brazilian name because I live in the United States, and the Portuguese language is not so well spoken around the world. So I'm here working on the second movement of this piece. I've already written the first movement uh, with Sibelius. Sibelius is the notation software for musicians and for composers, and all the trombone parts I write on Sibelius, and I also write them on Garage Band. That's the DAW that I'm using right now. So here on GarageBand, I'm on the second movement, so you won't see all the other stuff that I've written because besides being a solo trombone piece, is also a solo trombone piece with electronics. And then the first movement, I did all the other instruments and effects, sound effects on GarageBand, and now I'm working on the second movement, and I'm trying to create a ballad, since I can make a contrasting movement with the first one, but without being too much or without having too much contrast. I choose a ballad since it's something that is really slow, is a type of song, jazz song, and I've been looking here on my computer with the part from one of the videos from Gary Burton. I'm a percussionist, so pretty much of the things that I learned from how to say that, from jazzy stuff. I would search first for Gary Burton. That's the name for us on the percussion field. So I was here searching his stuff, and I found. Let me see here. I found this video, and then the first song that he plays is kind of a ballad. He did not say that, but the velocity of the music or the pace of the music is slow. So here on my second movement I have 60 BPM. The first movement 62. So pretty much a little bit of difference in there, but I would like to be that real chilling thing, like not in a rush, not too much different from the first movement. So that's how I'm thinking things here. So 60 would be a slight difference from the first beat per minute, or the first pace of the piece. So from here, I wouldn't start to write the trombone piece without an harmony, or in harmony, structured harmony, before writing the would you say melody line of the trombone. So here we got the second movement. I wouldn't be here like just writing, you know, note by note without having a background music. So how I do it is pretty much setting up the score first, only the structure, the frame, uh, and then getting to work on the other instruments first. So here on GarageBand, I got the Steinway grand piano. I used the same instrument on the first movement. I felt like this instrument it fits so well with the trombone. So in these contexts, using other electronic stuff. Uh, on the first movement, I wrote some of the other electronic instruments. I think I can open it here. Let me see here. Let me save this, and then open recent 56. Oh. So here I got the chart, the first part of the first movement. So here I got this Steinway grand piano with some effects and some plugins working here, and then I got the trombone part. The way that I'm doing it, I'm playing the trombone on my MIDI keyboard, and then after that I can get the score here, since I have it selected here, trombone part, and I can just press the key, no, key on my keypad, the N, and then it appears here for me the score for what I played. So I basically play it first, and then I switch it here to the score on my Garage Band, and after that I go to Sibelius, and then start writing the things I've played. Just like copying things, and what I'm talking about is I was talking about is about the other effects. So I have the chordal chimes here, is another instrument from GarageBand, is a synthesizer. So I got this one going on, some choir going on, and then I can change some of the configurations here for each of the instruments. I wouldn't change the trombone because the trombone wouldn't be played with effects. It's just the bare trombone. I would say it's just a trombone, not with a microphone or with pedals or anything like that. So that's pretty much it. The other instruments I can put a ton of effects, as I showed here with the grand piano. I have some delay going on, some other plugins going on here, and then I got this other synths, this chordal chimes. Let me see here if it's gonna sound. So that's it, what I got in there. So I wanted to stop playing it all. Let me see here. And then I got oh my gosh, I got some samplers going on, like the police cars siren, and I have a set of electronic drums or electronic percussion. That's the analog dream. Let's see here. That's it. Pretty much with the delay, some effects going on. And I got down here, I got the trombone part, the audio from the Sibelius. So This thing in here, the first movement, I can get only the audio from there. Going here on files, I can go export and then export the audio from that movement, and with the sounds from Sibelius, not from GarageBand. So I got that one. Set is the same pace in there. Here's 62, and then here it's also 62. In here, let me change it. Let me see what I got there. So yeah, that's same pace. So same tempo. Um, and then I extracted that from Sibelius, got the audio file, and just put it here. And over all of this that is happening on top of that. So what I was trying to talk about here in this video is about the second movement and how I'm doing to create it from scratch. So so here I got another sampler or effect, another sample. And down here, let me see what I got here. It's another effect from another DAW. I'm using the Pro Tools, Ableton, and the Garage Band at the same time. But for the most of the things, I'm using GarageBand to write everything, to put everything together, you know. And same thing here with bells. This one, the Tableaux pour Jacques Dusty bells. This one I got the sound from Ableton, so I use Ableton Live here. This one, Ableton Live 11, and let me see if I find the set that I used. Open recent. This one. So here we got the other instruments. The one that you see there, the Tableaux pour Jacques Dusty bells, I have here as well. So this is where I played it on Ableton, because GarageBand wouldn't have the same instrument, the same configuration. So I use different softwares, so I can get different sounds. But for the second movement now, I'm not doing that. I'm doing something different from what I did with the first movement. So I'm gonna close this one and open the other one. 57. This is what I'm working on. For this, I needed a sample of a drum set with brushes. That would be something that a ballad would sound like. So so I got an audio from a video from YouTube. I can't remember the video, but I've downloaded it, and I think one of these two here. And then I think it's a 5 minute long video. So I got like 10 seconds or 8 seconds from that video that the guy was playing the drum set, and then I cut the audio from the video, and then I put it here and see it how it sounds, you know, like just that part, the four measures here, the first four measures, and then it sounds like that, you know, like the real drum set doing the ballad thing. And then I find a way to work with the audio so I can split it and make it sound continuously, you know, with the sample. You pretty much sound like that. It has a glitch in there, a little bit of defect in there on the passage from one audio to the other one. But it's really slight, you know, like it's not too much of a thing to worry about. So what I needed is this 4 mesher here. So I cut the audio from the video, and put it in here. And then now I'm doing the harmony structure of this piece. And since I had to work with the ballad, I was searching some of the Gary Burton stuff, and then I have here on my computer, "I Am Your Paul." It's a piece by Steve Swallow. He's a bass player from Gary Burton, and I'm still trying things. I've been here working on the the real book. It's the first version of real book. I think there are more 5 of them after this one. And then I was just like looking on some slow tempo things in here, and then I didn't find something really interesting. And then I was watching the Gerber talking about this piece, and then I searched on Google the name of the piece, and found the PDF for that, a free PDF. So this is what I'm working on now. So um, for this one, we have 4/4 time. Is the same thing in here. 4/4 time, 4/4, C major, and the same thing in here. So we got the very first note here. The very first chord here is C major, with some kind of modulation and secondary dominance. That kind of stuff that you'll find in on the jazzy stuff. If you're gonna play the jazz standards, probably gonna find that. The bossa nova thing as well. You're gonna find a lot of secondary dominant and some modulations to the relative tone, or pretty much for the secondary dominant. So that's it. I have the score here. I have the drums down in here. I put I think 69 measures. That's it. 67, 68. So I stop at 69. And then I can start recording and playing the piano on top of that. So I'm gonna show a little bit of the process of creating, how I do it, how I am doing for this specific piece. I have other works that I've done with electronic stuff and producing on the computer using DAW. It's a completely different process, but pretty much the basic process that I use is for composing stuffs like that. Like you have instrument and a electronic background with other instruments. I pretty much do it all like this. Like having another instrument and playing it, actually playing it. And seeing how the harmony fits with the melody, if you already have it, or if the harmony in itself it's good in a way that my ears want it to be. It's a part of thing of a composer is choosing the right right chords and right harmony. And I know that there are some people that for construction and harmony progression, they use some things that are usual to do, or some rules from books or something like that. But I do not do that. Like I just play something, and I come like from this that is already structured, and I kind of like it, the way that it appears to be. But at the same time, I wouldn't copy everything as it is written. You know, like I would use the harmonic structure, maybe change something, put some inversions, and try to practice itself. You know, and see how it sounds for me, and then I put into something else. You know, like here, I am putting it to be the background of this electronic thing that I'm doing for a trombone solo piece. So so the trombone would be with the melody here. So I wouldn't copy the melody as it's written here. I wouldn't do that. I would do my creative process over that whole structure, and maybe I would change something and something and another thing. You know, like because as I said, you know, the creative process. Sometimes you just listen to it and find the right spot for that thing, you know. And with the knowledge that I have about harmony things, you know, I've studied. I had done my undergrad, so well in music, and doing that on the university, you learn tons of things of counterpoint, learn dozen things on harmony and analysis. So so I had to study counterpoint from composers like Schoenberg, you know, Piston, and other Palestrina, other people who had set the rules for this kind of composition. I was also studied some compositional process for Bach, Bach stuff. You know, like the fugues, the way that Bach did to write his fugues, and all of this process. I kind of have them in mind, and I kind of know how they sound. You know, for instance, like having something like, I don't know, like playing the first progression in there, like uh, do, the first chord is do, and then goes to to a chord of a major a major chord, and I can kind of change something in here, you know, because I know a little bit of how melodies are created. And what I want to say is that you can create tension when you want, and you can resolve in so many ways in harmony that when once you know all that, you can get more creative with the process. So, for instance, this first chord here, like the C major chord, there's some steps that you can take, or some progressions that you can take from this very first chord. For instance, like you can play here. You see, I created a step from a progression from the C major to the F major chord, but without having to worry too much to be fit inside of the structure that is in here in this music. Because I know which notes you should use to create tension to another thing, you know. So that's the rules that the books they have about, you know, the harmony stuff, you know, harmony progression and counterpoint thing, you know. And it's something that you study over the time. I had 4 years on my undergrad, so I had 4 years to work on these, you know, all these ideas. And you not only do that on paper, but you also do it playing in it. That's the kind of thing I always do. You know, I always play something so I can hear how it sound. You know, and also appreciating things. You know, listening to composers. You can go on YouTube, for instance, and get the score for, I don't know, Symphony Number 25 by Mozart, and then you have the score, and you see how he's doing the things that is sounding on the audio, with the score. So that's the kind of stuff that I do, and then how I study things. The same thing here, but since this is a creative process, I wouldn't fairly follow all the things that Steve Swallow did here. So I would create out of something else, with the background that I have and knowing how things could sound, and where my ear directs me, I would do, and see how the result is gonna be. So I'm gonna show a little bit how I do it. As I said, I do not follow strictly every single thing that's on the score because it's my creative process. So when you are into the creative process, you don't have to be so strict to playing exactly how it is. You're not interpreting the piece in itself. You're just creating from something else. So that's what I do. So here, the second movement, I already have the project 57 here set up. I have the drums for the style of music that I want to play, the genre. Let's call it a ballad. So it sounds like that. So I have the piano selected here, and then I will start to play the score how it is, but with the creative process, trying to improvisate over what is in there. One of the things that, talking a little bit more before I start to play, one of the things that mostly of the people who practices jazz music and standard jazz music, they pretty much do what I'm doing. They have their harmony structure in there, and then they create on top of that. They improvisate on top of that. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here. So and since I do not have to have the score for the background music that's going on, I'm just having the score for the trombone part. So I do not have to worry about writing every single thing, but the program in itself, it has the possibility of playing, recording what I play, and then having it showed here what it's gonna be, what's gonna be like when you want a score of what you just played, So I'm gonna show a little bit of that here. So let's see. So that's it. So here I've done the recording of what I played, and I can have the score of it. Like go in here and just press N, and then I have a score of everything I played. Sometimes the rhythms wouldn't be actually accurately notated by the software, but it's useful somehow because there's so many notes here. So if you're gonna write every single thing and after that play what you wrote, that's gonna be really difficult, So playing it and having the software to write something alike to what you played, it's really useful, if you're gonna use that to transcribe that to the score. So that's what I do, but it's not what I'm gonna show here. So Okay, I have it here set up here. I want to show how I do with the creative process of the structure of the music. In this case, I showed the drums, how it's gonna be, the background rhythm, and now I'm creating the harmony for the second movement of the trombone piece. The trombone piece is called Tableaux pour Jacques. Pour Jacques. Tableaux pour Jacques. Pardon my French, but it's how it sounds for me. Tableaux pour Jacques. That's the second movement for this piece. The second movement is gonna be called La Voix venant de collines. I think that's how it's said on French, maybe with a little bit more accent, but just to get the title and something different in there. I could put it on Portuguese, but that would be something difficult for other musicians, probably who wants to practice this piece or play this piece at some other context. So I'm doing this, because the languages used in music in general, they are, I think, 4 or 5 languages that are commonly used in music. So you have French, you have English, you have Italian, you have German, and probably you have some other one. But generally, this 4 languages, French, English, German, and Italian, that's gonna be the how music are notated, and how the indications on the score is gonna be notated. So I choose mixing a little bit of French in here to have something different for the player who's gonna play this. Sometimes we're going to choose a score to play. For at least for me, I look at the title first and see how that title is, and if I look and read the title and I find the title interesting, then I go into the score. I want to see more. And then I'm using the same thing with it, like just creating some momentum in there, or some interest in there, so people can find it interesting, somehow. So that's it. The title of the piece, and the movements. I am writing the title of the movements in French. So that's it. And then once I talked about this thing, I'm gonna start to play here the ballad I'm creating from this very process here. So the I Am Your Paul. Let's see how it sounds with me playing it, and if I'm gonna like it. And another thing that's really interesting is that once you play it and listen back, if you do not like it, or if you do a lot of mistakes, that's something that's that's normal to happen. Like you don't have to be perfect as you play something. And as for me, I'm not a piano player. I'm a percussionist. So I've studied all the percussion stuff: marimba, vibraphone, multi percussion, snare drum, drum set, all that stuff that has a ton of things to learn. And you usually do not have time to practice the piano as a piano player would do. So that's it. I'm a kind of not strict to myself with playing other stuffs on piano. I know that I'm gonna do some mistakes, and then I can correct these mistakes as I play it. But as I was saying, I do not have to stay with something that I recorded once. I can record it again, delete and record again. This is the funny thing with the computer stuff. Now, let me record this stuff. Let me play it once so you guys can see it. see how it sounds, and maybe you can pretty much start uh, to do something like that, yourself. I know that there are some people that struggle with the creative process because they don't have a clue how to create it, from scratch. They sit in front of a computer, like I'm here with my MIDI keyboard, my microphone recording, and they sit in there. If they do not have that music background that I had, they just are stuck in there, like they just can't do anything. They just thinking a lot of things, and they creative process just don't happen, just doesn't happen. So this is how I do things. It's a pretty advanced thing, pretty advanced. This is not something that a beginner would do, not at all. But it's something that you can even try. You can, for instance, you can get this part here and practice yourself. You can set a drum going on and practice the piano, for instance. For That's a kind of practice for a beginner. But my compositional process is different. So it's a lot of stuffs going on, and a lot of stuffs that I use with that, after recording something. So I kind of here just to show you guys how I would do things. And as I said, there are some other process that you can make to create and compose music. Some easier ones, some not too easy ones, and some really difficult ones. And you can create music and compose music not only with a computer, but you can also create with a piece of paper, blank sheet of music, with the measures in there. You can with the staves in there. So you can create from there with a pencil, and do not need to have to do all the other stuff with the computer. But this is the way that I'm doing this specific thing. So I am not a composer. I didn't do a composition class in school. I didn't go to my composition or to a composer uh, graduate degree or something like that. Composer degree or something like that. I just do it by curiosity and by studying myself. I didn't have a teacher to teach me all of this. Sometimes I go to a group, and then I play percussion for them, and then I see they talking about other stuffs. How would this instrument sound in something else, and then I keep on gathering information from this kind of thing. I still learn from others. Uh, and this is how I get things done. Like talking about this electronic thing, the electronic process. I've learned a lot about electronic things with non-musicians. With people who are not willing to go to a university to have a degree in music. They do, for instance, electronic music for a party, for DJing, or something like that. And so that's how I learned from them somehow. The way that they do things, and there are a ton of things on YouTube nowadays. So you can just search how to do electronic music or how to create electronic music, and there are quite a lot of people there explaining how they do stuff. So this is my creative process, compositional process for this trombone piece. So I'm gonna play a little bit of the "I Am Your Paul" by Steve Swallow, but just the harmonic progression, and nothing too much. I'm not gonna follow the melody here, not at all. I'm not gonna read it. So just gonna read the harmonies and try to create something like improvising. So that's it. So that's it. That's how I do it. So now I got it here. It's the thing that happened from having the score there. From what you saw, I do not follow the structure as it is, mainly because I'm not a piano player. So, for instance, like the first measure, I do the C major, 3, 4, and then I change it. But in here, if I follow the score, would be the C major chord, and then right at the third time or the second tempo of the the piece, that's the 60 beat per minute on a half note. So it would be a little bit different. So I'm following what I want it to sound like, not the way that the music is structured. So that's pretty much it. I would not follow. I would the for instance, like playing on the head of the beat here with some of the chords. You know, sometimes I bring it to the upbeat, or sometimes I do it longer than it would be, and see how it flows. You know, because this is how you do the creative process. You got to express yourself the way that you want and into your limitations as a musician. For instance, I'm not a piano player, so I have some technical limitations with the instrument, and I would not at all tell myself to do some things that I feel like I wouldn't do if I do not have the amount of time of practice into that. You know, what I'm gonna say is that I wouldn't do this as a professional pianist or piano player. So I'm gonna play it back here so you guys can hear it again, and I'm gonna end this video, and then probably gonna post another things on my YouTube channel, but you're gonna see this video on my YouTube channel probably, and something else. So, and talking about the other instruments, once I have the harmony structure structured or created, I would create something on top of that. Of course, the trombone part, that would be the melody, and the other instruments. You know, since it's a ballad, I think there's something that you must to follow as a rule, because a ballad must sound like a ballad. You know, you wouldn't get it to sound like a techno thing, like electronic music for a party. There are a ton of things different here. There is a huge gap in there. So, but I can get here like a vibraphone. That's something that is usual for a jazz ensemble to have. It's a usual instrument. So I can get the vibraphone and kind of change its sound. You know, kind of play with the effects that this instrument offers to me here into this software, and create other things, like loops in here. You can have some 4/4 things, mostly 4/4 things, four counts, of a measure, and put it over here with this sample thing in here, the sample library of the Garage Band, and this is also the part of the creative process with this, but since it's a ballad, I would not start to create too much things on top of that, just because the way that it's gonna sound, the style of the music. So one of the things that really worries me when composing things is just the style of the music, just to be truthful to the style, So the very first movement, I was not too worried about a structure in itself. I had some references for myself of what I wanted the first movement to sound like. But as you see here, you have a lot of chromatic things happening. I'm not following too much of the key signature in here. The key signature for the first movement is G minor. So you have two flats in here. But as I created some chromaticism over this, and trying to incorporate other stuffs that are not usual for a tonal music to have, some characteristics of things that are different from a tonal music structure. So that's it. Like the rhythm here, the different rhythm, it's pretty much a contemporary stuff, the contemporary music stuff. You're gonna find a lot of this stuff in here, like this, how the first movement looks like. So you're gonna find in every single contemporary composer. So that's it. Second movement, you saw how I created the backtrack for that. So I'm gonna play it here and end the video.